Hey, what's up, everybody? A Stranger Oddity Show coming back to you. I know it's been a moment, but had a lot of things going on, and just you know what? It's October is over, and hello November. I guess hello winter. It's definitely getting cold out here. The nights are really cold, the mornings are cold, and everything. I did want to take a moment here and actually talk to you folks about some stuff that I've been doing, or I guess my family has been taking care of, mostly my mom, and I love her dearly, and I'm so grateful that she was able to do this, and she was strong enough to go through with it. It's hard for me too, because it was very emotional, but we had decided to sell the house from Hawaii, and that was a hard decision. That really was. It was the house where we grew up. It's been in the family. My grandfather intended to have it for myself, and when I grew up and everything. And my grandfather was a World War II vet. He served in the U.S. military to help fight off the evil that was coming over the shores during that time, a very scary time. And I grew up with him in the house and watched him do always watched him back when he was doing things when before he ended up going to the hospital for the final time. He was having things worked on in the house and making it nicer, putting an enclosed garage, just little touches to make the house look so much better. And I understand, he was doing it because he intended for us to have it and everything. But and that was hard, because he didn't want us to get rid of the house. But what it is. And I hope he understands, and I'm sure he would, that the cost of living on the island, it's very high. It's unfortunately it's been so expensive. It has created it so expensive that the average families there, they can't make it. They need. I mean, I know police officer friends of mine that literally work another job. On top of doing their law enforcement work, and they work another job. Most families there, they're all bunched together in houses. There's not exactly a whole lot of job opportunity. There is stuff. I mean, it's not like there's nothing, but it's like people don't live in just grass shacks out there like people think. Some people think that, but no, it's a beautiful place. There's no other place like it on earth, but it comes with a price tag, and that price tag is very, it's pretty high. There's a lot of differences between, like say myself and siblings that never will see eye to eye. So in that matter, it's like my mom and I had made the decision that I think selling the house would be the best thing to do, because it is an old house. It is getting older, and there obviously problems are going to start to arise, and it could be it's going to get run into the ground basically if we don't. Like I was no longer there anymore to take care of it. My mom no longer lived there, and it was just going to fall apart, unfortunately. And Hawaii, the weather and everything, and the elements, I guess, is really hard on things. It's hard on your firearms, that's for sure. If you don't basically, and I remember a lot of people were making fun of like me. They used to look back at an old video I had, and it was when I was talking about that Seal One lubrication, which is I do not recommend you use that stuff, nor do I recommend you use Frog Lube. But I was one of those people that bought into it and used it. But I was using quite a bit of it and like literally coating the gun with it inside and out. And these people were like, oh my God, look at this. Well, what they don't understand is if you don't do that, living there, the next time you go and see your beloved stuff, it's just gonna be messed up, pitted, rusty, destroyed. You just got to. That's the nature of going there. Unfortunately, like it feels like everything that is just left outside or whatever the elements are just going to get to it. Your car, my car had rust spots all over it, and it was like, where's this stuff coming from? But living there, you don't realize it, that you're surrounded by this, the humidity which is carrying salt from the ocean. Everything is rusty. Everything is, so, but it was hard. My dog that I grew up with. When we had her ashes in the house, and my mom had scattered her ashes in the front yard and hung her collar in a tree and was out there too, and it was hard on her. It was really hard that she had to walk through the house one last time and just kind of feel that feeling of, never going to do it, again. And even me, but I have a lot of old videos on this channel that I did daily, day in the life videos that I was doing, and I really enjoyed doing those. When I was doing the daily vlogs, when I was videoing just myself doing things throughout the day, and you guys watching and commenting and everything, I must say, like going back to the beginning of doing YouTube and everything, not only did I somehow reach and touch so many people to subscribe to the channel, to watch the videos and all that, and I'm talking about like the Batjack JW channel and this one. I mean, this one here alone had like changed names a lot because I didn't know what to call it, and I didn't really know what to do with this channel. But now that I have a better direction on it, I know where to pretty much head with it. But when I first started doing YouTube, it did something for me too, and I'm glad that I was able to share things and videos with so many other people that like the same things I like or whatnot. When I first started it, I thought I can't be the only person out there that likes this old stuff and really doesn't care for the modern stuff, so but it did a lot for me personally, for me in my life. It helped cope with depression. It gave me this thing to look forward to on a daily basis. Filming videos was just a whole lot of fun. That stems from being very fascinated with film, photography, anything like that. Always been fascinated by it. To me, films, movies, and stuff like that are time capsules. They're a way that we can go back into the past. They always say that, I've always would wish that I could jump into a time machine, like H.G. Wells, with Rod Taylor, and, I would go back to the 50s or something, no problem, and live it out. But that's what, to me, film and movie making and all that, pictures, they're a way to basically live that again. We can sit there and live it again. We turn on an old Humphrey Bogart movie, or for me, John Wayne. I can sit there in the comfort of my home on the couch or whatever, and pop in a tape or a DVD or whatever, and there's John Wayne, bigger than life than he's ever been, and on the screen. And it's really neat to be able to vicariously live in the past through those films. So I've always been fascinated with that. I never thought that things that I was making would become that. And for me, that is looking back at those videos that I did of the house and everything. And it's like, wow, that, that it's emotional. It touches. It's hard to, sometimes, but it's an understanding that life must go on. Life has to go on. I Life for me has been moving so fast, and faster and faster. I I'm older than people, I guess, think I might be, or I've been told that I don't look as old as I am, which is very flattering. Thank you. I hope I age gracefully, but it's just, I realize that, it's like, you realize that your own parents are, they're going to be in their 70s, and it's like, well, what the heck, what's happening, it's like, it's just crazy. But so the house has been sold, and it's gone now, and my mom it's bittersweet for her, for sure, and for me, for what it's going to do, I guess, as far as my life, changing my life, I intend to get my own place, and stop renting, basically, and embark in my own place. That's going to be the next step for me, and that's what I'm kind of trying to work for, and go forward, because that is something that I decided that I need to do. I've been living out here in the great state of Arizona since 2017 now, and at first it was really tough. At first it was an unknown, like, it's everything is new. You don't know what is going to be what. At first, my first, like, time spent out here, a week or whatever, it just, everything is just like, it's just this, like, wonderful vacation type feeling. But then, because it's hard for it to sink in, and it was hard for it to sink in for me. Like, looking back at those videos where it's like, let me see here if I can pull it up. When I first and I didn't know what, like, like with you guys and everything, I know it was kind of a shocker, because I didn't really say anything about moving. It just kind of, I just kind of slipped it. It's just kind of went in there. So, but that first week spending out here was like, it's like, like, it's like vacation, but it's not. This is it. I chose to live here, and it's like, my gosh, like, okay. So getting used to it, and trying to, adapt to it and everything, and but it was really difficult. But the longer I stayed out here, the more and more I realized that, it's become my home now. I got to do so much. Arizona has given me opportunity. It has made things happen for me that I was not sure was going to happen. That I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, get to see, experience, or whatever. And I was feeling, for me, living on the island, what I was feeling was this feeling of, like, I am going to die and not have anything to really show for it. To be laying there, like, on your last days, and say, well, what did you do? Well, so it was getting really prominent for me when I realized that, you're not 23 anymore. You're not 25. You're it's like, you're 30 something years old, and it's like, and then you're going further and further. It's like, a good friend of mine, my good friend, he's like my big brother, and he was the very one that he was the one that moved first, and he told me that, he's like, he kind of said it because he came to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm moving." I'm like, "What? Where are you going?" Like, that's crazy. He's like, "No, man, I'm going." And it was like, wow, I can't believe he's doing this. And he says, "Man, I'm not gonna die here and just keep doing this." I was like, "Jeez, that's crazy." Yeah. So off he went, and he went to Seattle, and so that always kind of instilled something in my head because I I may not react to it right away, or I may seem like I just like shelve the idea, but I've always thought about what he said and everything, and so and that does become something real in your head. It's like it's and it was hard because it was like I'm like in this like am I moving, am I and when you're deciding that, it's just like for me, I didn't really know how to deal with this like huge tug of war of thoughts in my head. It was like it's like I'm leaving my mom, I'm leaving friends, I'm leaving the place I grew up. And unfortunately for me, when dealing with stuff like that, sometimes it's like, you know, like it's like it kind of turns into frustration to, it's like, I get angry at certain things, but it's just, it's not so much, that it's just frustration. It's just a frustrating feeling of like, where where is this going to end up? So, and now I got here in the videos here, and I see that the video. It's 56 seconds, and it's update. Where is Batjack JW? And just looking back at those last few vlogs that I was doing, and I can't believe it did. Literally, like I'm looking at the numbers. It was 217 number like. And I'm pretty darn sure I did a vlog every day. And I'm almost certain that it was like over 200 days straight I vlogged every day. And, I never thought I'd do stuff like that, but, I did. And you guys were a part of it. And it really did. It did something for me, too. It really, it was a great deal of fun. Going to the dog park with the dogs, I will miss them, definitely, and I still miss them. But all this seems like this was last weekend. But it's like I'm looking at this video, and it's like it's going on over 4 years old. It's like wow, what that where did that happen? I want to thank personally my buddy John Santee from the Arizona Ghost Riders, because he was helping me understand, because he was the one that knew I was coming over, and he was helping me understand what was Arizona about and how he moved, how he felt. And so John, if you're listening to this, you really helped me through that emotional barrier and that wondering what's gonna happen kind of thing. And like I think my second day there, he took me to old Tucson studios, and we got to walk around and do that whole thing. It was a lot of fun. But I met a lot of good people out here, a lot of good friends, and over time, like I said, it's become my home in a sense. And so I do want to pick up, like I do want to make changes, and those changes are going to happen as soon as I can perhaps get a place, get a house or something like that, and get on my feet. And I would like to pick up, in a sense, where I left off. And according to what I'm looking at here, it would be nice to just pick up back where these vlogs left off, and kind of go back and try to do those again, because they played a big part in my life, and it is, and in a sense, it's a way to look back. It's a time capsule. Again, it's time just looking back. But living out here, there was a lot of cool stuff that I got to do that I didn't think I would get to experience. And looking back, it was like things like, as silly as it almost sounds, but like I'm sitting there. I remember when I first walked in to a gun shop and I purchased a magazine for a handgun that held more than 10 rounds. I even though that's not really all that like important to me, because I mean looking now, it's like everything I do mess with now, it's 1911 with like 8 rounds anyway. But for some reason there was an initial moment there when I purchased that 17 round magazine, and I think I also bought a 33 round magazine. It was like I don't know. It was like, wow, this like, there was like it was like something about that, doing that. And then I first got that job, and then just kind of going through, and there was a lot of things that I really was hoping for to accomplish, and I can't even think of all of them because there's so many now, but like, there was things that I wanted to do. Like, a big thing was like, I wanted to work at an indoor gun range. I've always heard these stories from a friend of mine that used to run the one that was locally in town that I got to shoot at when I was young, and he was telling me all these stories about working there. And I said, man, I want to experience that. I want to get to do that. So I got to do that, and I got to experience that. I got to experience working shops that were large, inventory, big time. So I got to experience that. I got to meet Don Coscarelli, the director of Phantasm, a horror movie I grew up with. I got to meet Bruce Campbell for watching The Evil Dead, and it's like, wow, it's like I got to go to places that you only see in movies and stuff, and I have my friend Dan to thank for that big time. He took me all over the place and showed me these places, and and things that I thought I could only see in a movie or a picture. And no, I mean, here I am standing there, historical places and all that. I got to fire a Thompson submachine gun, World War II, and the 1927 model. I always wanted to do that. I actually had that thing. I thought about that. I used to think about it before I moved out here, that what it was going to be like to experience that, and didn't think I was going to ever do it, but there it is. Boom, got to do it. Hey, you know what? To top that off, Glock 18, fully auto. Is it? I mean, just the experience, like, wow, it really is what they say it is. Things like doing that, stuff that I was able to purchase and own. Always said I wanted like a World War II Colt, 1911. Boom, got it. All these other things that I used to see that, back on the island that, perhaps one shop had, or, the place I would, go to, or the person I would go to get some of these, and they're collectible, and that's all I was, because that's what interests me. But, hearing those words, well, it was, it's like, well, that's the only guy with it, so either you're going to pay his price or you're just going to suffer without it. And a lot of times, because financially I couldn't do it, I suffer without it. But, and that's one thing that I do and I have done throughout the collecting, is like, a lot of times that it's because I can't afford it, and I had to pass on it. I just had to walk away, and I've done that a lot, and I can't tell you how painful it was to see the item that you want, and you've always wanted it, but you can't do it. You can't get it. But now out here, being able to, be a little bit more, make a little bit more money per hour than I was on the island, for sure. Having a credit card really helps, and layaway, and of course, but just having the opportunity to go to stuff and see things and be like, wow, that's cool. There it is. Bam, I'm gonna pick this up. So and I gotta say, this state has been good to me. It has been good to me. It has been more good to me than it has been bad, and that's why I call it home now. And that's where I'm gonna stay. And so and we'll see. I have to I have to make that. I had to make that decision, and it was rough. It's not easy to do, but anyway, thank you guys for listening and being here with me and being a subscriber. It means a lot to me, and it has helped me through life as well. So I thank each and every one of you.